Hey everyone, Kevin Hunsperger here, one half of another round with Tom Harness and Kevin Hunsperger. Tom is on the road at the moment and not able to join us, but our guest today is Breanne Rice. And Breanne Rice is someone you may have seen before. She has made appearances on several different TV shows, including The Bachelor. But Breanne is here to talk today about a medical condition that she was diagnosed with as a young adult. And Breanne, well, first of all, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you.
So the condition that we're going to be talking about today is vitiligo, and you were diagnosed at the age of 19. Now, for folks who maybe don't know or understand what that is, kind of explain what vitiligo is.
Vitiligo, it can affect anyone, anytime, anywhere. Mine started when I was 19, and it's essentially an autoimmune disease where your body loses its pigment cells in large blotches. So some of the most common places are the face, the hands, the underarm area, legs, things like that. So I was like, lucky me, it started on my face.
And it kind of started off very discreetly, is that right?
Yeah, I was 19. I didn't know. I'm like, what is this? Is it a zit? Is it like, something that's going to go away? And it didn't. It began to spread and it got bigger and bigger. And, it was really hard.
And I would imagine it was particularly hard because at that time you were just a couple of years into a modeling career. So what kind of impact did that have on you as not only as a young adult, but as a model trying to make a living?
For me, I mean, when you're in that industry, you're essentially placing so much value on what you look like, right? And at that time, I had an unrealistic standard of perfection that I wasn't measuring up to. And one of the biggest things being a model is having great skin. Mm-hmm. And, you show up fresh faced, I woke up like this. You got to look good right when you wake up. And me, I would show up with makeup on, already done up, and people are like, why does this girl have 12 pounds of makeup on already? But for me, it really devastated my self-esteem because I didn't feel that I measured up to the other women. I thought, one of the biggest foundations is having great skin, and now this is being taken away from me, so I don't think I can do this anymore. And I let insecurity rule my life, and I decided to give it up.
Give up the secret?
No, the modeling.
The modeling. Okay.
I didn't pursue that anymore because
so
I didn't feel
it so dominated your life that you decided to just give up the thing that you had wanted to be. Be your life. So tell me, because about 2 years ago, you posted I don't want to say life-changing, but maybe it was life-changing. I know you've changed other people's lives for sure by posting the picture of yourself on Instagram with no makeup at all. What finally was the motivation after so long of deciding to kind of go public with all this?
I knew that part of letting go and learning to love myself was being vulnerable about the thing that I was struggling with for so long. And in order to let it go, you have to admit what you're struggling with, right? So for me, that was very freeing, and I felt like a huge weight was lifted off my chest. And I wanted to use my situation to help empower others to feel comfortable and confident in their own skin, no matter what shape, what size, whatever they're going through, whatever insecurity is, that you deserve to feel beautiful and confident just how you're uniquely made. And I had to let that go. So I posted it, part of my own journey. I had no idea that, within a week I was going to be talking to the Today Show about it. But, I thought, well, this is going to help whoever it's going to help. But apparently God had other plans. And for me, that was an aha, life-changing moment. And I'm proud of myself for doing that, because every day I meet someone and it doesn't matter where they're from or if they have vitiligo or not, they're like, you inspired me to be okay with how I am. And ultimately it was for myself and then for others as well when I did that.
Yeah, we all, I think, are well, obviously none of us are perfect. We all have
not perfect.
Imperfections.
Oh, you had me.
We have things about ourselves that we try to keep, hidden or revealed. And for you to do that in such a public way, and being who you are as a former model and somebody who was in that industry, and you kind of know how that game is played. So it had to be empowering, not just for you, but for people around you. And for, I believe you had said in a previous interview, for 10 years, you kind of kept this to just yourself. And I believe your
Yeah.
parents knew. Nobody else knew along the way. Did any of your friends know about this?
No, it was just my parents. I even when I would go on dates with guys, I they didn't know. I didn't tell them. I wasn't like, "Hey, by the way, I don't really look like this."
Yeah.
I kept it to myself. When I would go to the gym, because girlfriend likes to work out, uh, I put on makeup, and now I'm like, I hate wearing makeup at the gym. But I no, even going to the grocery store, sometimes I'd wear really big sunglasses so
Mm.
no one would tell. And I have a really big spot on my chin where I'm missing pigment. And there's a couple times where I went out and I wore the sunglasses and I was really tan, so you can see more of a contrast when I'm more tan. And someone made a comment and they thought that I had messed up my makeup, and they're like, you might want to look at that in the mirror. And I remember I got my feelings hurt so bad, but it wasn't really their fault. They were being nice. I'd
Mhm.
prefer to be the kind of friend that tells someone when they have lettuce in their teeth, or like, you got an eyelash.
Sure.
Uh, but they didn't do anything wrong. But I got my feelings hurt so bad. I'm like, I have vitiligo. Um, but now it's me and it's who I am, and I'm okay with it. Uh,
So now, did your friends kind of find out the big reveal back in March of 2016 when you posted that picture?
Yeah, I was more comfortable with it right before I was started talking about it to some people, and they were like, I had no idea that you were struggling with this the entire time. I thought had everything together, and you're perfectly made up. And when I came forward, a lot of people were messaging me, texting me, call. I had no idea that you had this the entire time. I would have never known. And I'm like, yep, I've kept a little secret from you all forever. So it was a good thing.
This is, the main platform that we're broadcasting on is Harness Digital Marketing, which is deals in social media, and you are all over social media and your website too. And we'll talk a little bit more about your website in just a second,
Yeah.
BreanneHolisticHealth.com. Talk to me though a little bit about, because Tom and myself both have young daughters, the preteen age, and I know that other friends are going to be watching this that have children, whether boys or girls. And even at your age when you were 19, you were still, that young adult, and you talked about the vulnerability and kind of letting that secret out. Once you did that, it sounds like your friends were very supportive.
Yeah.
Your social media presence. So, did you have to deal with, or how did you deal with the naysayers, the haters, as people call them sometimes?
Um, I got some resistance because, I still wear a lot of makeup and I like to do different trends and things. And so
Sure.
people would say, why is she still wearing makeup if she's not hiding in it anymore? But for me, I do enjoy wearing makeup.
Hmm.
Um, but I do it because I like different trends and it's kind of fun, not because I'm hiding that. However, for me, there's always going to be someone that finds something wrong with everything. I feel bad for a lot of people that put themselves out there, because with the good comes along the bad. And anytime you take a stance for anything, whether it be your views on an issue, there's always going to be someone who doesn't agree with you, right?
Hmm.
They don't like you or for whatever reason. But, I had to look at my purpose and what I was doing. And it's that way with anything. And stick to that and know who I am. And, haters going to hate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How did doctors finally diagnose you with vitiligo, and then is there any kind of treatment, or, and I know, and that'll come along with your website discussion as well, there are things that you have done to kind of subside or maybe reduce some of the symptoms?
When I went in, the doctors, they took special types of lights and things, and they looked at my pigment. They're like, yeah, you don't have any pigment here. They did a scan and they diagnosed me. And with vitiligo, there's different treatments. You can do light therapies that'll help stimulate the pigment regrowth. There's creams, different things. I wanted to take more of a holistic approach, and for me, I believe that it's very important to have a healthy gut and immune system. So I focused on nutrients. And around the time where I was diagnosed, I was dealing with a lot of digestive issues, and I was, every time I would eat, I would get sick, and I had undiagnosed food allergies. When I changed my diet, focused on the right nutrients supporting my body, my vitiligo has not really spread. And of
Okay.
course, this is my own personal, individual story, but I think that putting the right foods in your body is so, so key. And a lot of people, they are in a constant state of inflammation. They're putting the wrong foods in their body, and that can lead to illness and autoimmune issues down the line. So for me, the most important thing is putting the right foods in my body. I have to eat a certain way. I notice a huge difference, and I'm happy that I've been able to overcome those things.
What types of things, or how did you alter your diet? I know you eat a lot of organic, and you added a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables to your diet. Is that right?
Um, I eat a lot of healthy proteins, fish, and healthy fats, things to support inflammation, um, or stop inflammation, I'm sorry, and organic, fresh in its most natural state. I love to cook. Uh, a lot of people, they think, does she cook? And I'm like, hey, come on now. Uh, I love to cook, and I love making things from scratch. I do have a dark chocolate addiction. I swear I've been battling that for years,
Yeah,
but
I'm guilty of that too. Love it.
but I love food. I'm definitely a foodie, and there's a lot of great. I'm in Seattle, so we have a lot of great options even when I'm eating out. Um, but I love to put the right foods in my body.
What misconceptions do you think? Because I know, as we mentioned, your website is BreanneHolisticHealth.com. When people go and visit your site, what will they learn? Because I know you've got a lot of different social media outlets there, but you've
Yeah.
got a lot of information that can be very helpful to people.
Yeah. My website, I still love what I do. I like working with people on an individual one-on-one basis. So you'll get to chat with me on the phone. I do everything via phone because I have so many connections all over, and I didn't want to have an office somewhere where people just have to come and see me. I wanted to be able to reach a whole uh, wide spectrum of people. So I work with clients individually on a one-on-one basis. Everyone's different. I don't think that there's one size fits all with when it comes to nutrition. There's so many diets that are amazing and they're healthy, but that doesn't work for everyone. I'm different, you're different. So I kind of have a niche for figuring people out and supporting the body through nutrients. And you can work with me individually on a one-on-one basis. I sell my sessions in packages because I want to see progress. My goal is so that people don't come back to see me and to kind of figure themselves out what works best for them so they're set up for life. I also do a lot of public speaking and television. A lot of times corporations will hire me to come in and chat about nutrition, give a little talk, or even, self-esteem. I'll go and speak to women's groups and chat about self-esteem issues, share my story, and all of that stuff. So I'm really passionate about what I do. I love to help others. And I know that even if you're struggling with something, food issues, it can be hard to kind of figure it out because you're told 20 different diets. And I tried them all. I was on every single diet, and I finally found what worked best for me. So I love to help figure others out.
What what are some of the common misconceptions, would you say, that maybe people that have contacted you, that have reached out to you, as far as their nutrition? Because I think sometimes we read the labels and we see that something is organic or it's fresh or it's supposed to be good for us,
Mm-hmm.
but it not necessarily always is. So what do we need to be as consumers and advocates for our own health? What do we need to be doing out there?
One of the most common misconceptions that people have is they think, oh, it's gluten free, and they'll go buy a package, but it's loaded with sugar and excessive ingredients, chemicals, things like that. They think, oh, it's healthy. They don't read the labels. For me, I don't really eat things that are packaged. If you go buy an apple, guess what the ingredients are? Apple.
Hmm.
So purchasing things from packages, added ingredients, it's not meant to go in our body. So eating things in its most natural state, you can't go wrong with that. Just because it says gluten-free, or perhaps it says organic, right? But there's still tons of sugar and excess carbohydrates that your body doesn't really need in that. So even though it's pure cane sugar, hey, guess what? Your body still perceives that as sugar. It's a better source ingredient of sugar, but still sugar going in the body.
Hmm. Did the vitiligo lead you in this path? Do you think? Where would you have seen yourself 10 years ago when you were, kind of undergoing that diagnosis and experiencing that? Would you have continued through with the modeling had you not been diagnosed, do you think? Or do you think this is kind of your true calling and your true passion, helping other people?
I think I would have continued that. However, I always saw myself really speaking to women and being in the media, and I just knew. Yeah, how they say when you know, you know. I knew. Uh, I grew up speaking like in church and things like that, and I just always have had a heart for women.
Hmm.
And I think when you're meant to do something and it just kind of flows, and no matter what, that path will find you. So yeah, I think that I would have ended up here no matter what. But the vitiligo definitely sparked the nutrition path and my own personal issues that I was having with food for sure. And I think many of us that go into an industry or we find ourselves somewhere, it's because of what we've experienced. And I know how hard that was for me going through all of that. So what better is it that I can relate to others going through similar things and help them as well. So I think I would have ended up here no matter what.
You said help others as well. Let me ask you this. Now, at your age, with your experiences and everything that you've seen, before you were 19, go back to when you were, like I said, that sixth, seventh, eighth grade, that middle school aged girl. What would you tell yourself? Are you still there? I think we lost our link. Well, friends, I apologize. We have apparently lost our connection. Breanne, are you still there? Okay,
I
she's
don't
here.
know what happened. I'm back.
That's
I was
okay.
just
Perfect.
making sure that you had your coffee and you were awake, but we're gonna just
Well,
making
I,
sure.
I have one last quick question for you because I know you are very busy with everything. But as I was saying, the stage of your life now, looking back before you were diagnosed with the vitiligo, but knowing what you know now, what advice would you have given yourself in those preteen or early teen years to how to deal with and accept that diagnosis and then move on from there?
That's a great question. I would tell myself to just accept it, love you, be you, that it's okay that this is happening to you. It doesn't make you any different, it doesn't make you any less beautiful, but that's going to inspire others to feel confident, and you should as well, and not feel any less of a woman because you don't have perfectly pigmented skin. I wish I could go back and tell myself those thoughts, but I wouldn't be here.
Right.
So, yeah, I would definitely tell my younger self that.
Yeah, we all take an interesting path to get to where we are, and I think raising teenagers myself right now, that's the struggle. You try to tell them the advice that you wished you had heard or that you heard but didn't listen to, because we all go through it, but we all kind of
Yeah.
have to take that path too, I think, and learn and grow and experience from that. So I think it's always
Yeah.
when you take that and the old saying, making lemonade out of lemons. You have certainly done
Yeah.
that and much, much more. Breanne, if you don't mind, let us know where we can find you on social media and your website one more time.
My website is brandsHolisticHealth.com. My own Rice. And of course, you can find my Facebook page, Breanne Rice, as well.
Alrighty, yeah, it is Breanne Rice on social media, and you can again check out BreanneHolisticHealth.com to learn more about the services and make arrangements and learn more about your health and take care. That's the first step, I think, is being an advocate for yourself and taking care of your own health, and then you can help and
Yeah.
take care of others in your life for sure. Breanne,
Awesome.
any parting words for our listeners and viewers this afternoon?
Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for having me on your live show. I've only done a couple Facebook Lives, and for some reason, I always mess them up. So this was a good one. I didn't run out of the shot because I messed something up. But thank you so much for listening. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. You did a great job, and we appreciate you spending some time on another round with Tom Harness and Kevin Hunsperger. Everyone, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.